Death is a gift. Hear me out, right? Hold on, my chair's a bit creaky. Right, so anyway, if you didn't die, nothing would matter. Your relationships wouldn't matter. The house you live in would be pointless. The food you eat would be pointless. The water you drink would be pointless. The job you work at to get money would be pointless. There'd be no point buying anything because everything comes from a place of knowing that you die in the end. Temporariness, the fact that life is temporary makes everything meaningful, because it means that the time you give matters because it ends at some point. Let's say if you're immortal, right? You could spend 10 years on something, but it's irrelevant because you could live, you'll live forever. There's no end. Like a billion years could pass and then 10 years you dedicated to that thing. Irrelevant because a billion years have passed and you're still alive, you're still the same, you're in the same position. There's no growth. There's no expansion, you're just there. Expansion is pointless because it never ends anyway. There's no end to the growth. Growth matters to us now because there's an end to our life. Experiences matter to us now because there's an end to our life. It's the reason why holidays are so exciting, because you only get one life. So you want to experience all these things while you're alive before you don't get the chance to. Whereas if you're immortal, going on holiday, you don't care. Oh, you won't get that excitement from going to a different country or exploring the world. You wouldn't want to do anything because it would be pointless. So death is genuinely a gift. If we didn't die, we would hate our lives. There'd be no point doing anything that we do as a human. Our greatest gift is that our life is temporary. This is something I've been thinking about quite a bit. I have a lot of these deep thoughts. That's why I started this channel, because I need some way to get it out. It's so interesting though when you think about it this way. It's like the relationships we get into, they're only meaningful because we're gonna die someday and that person is gonna leave someday. Like maybe the relationship ends or we die, right? There's temporary connotations to everything that's meaningful. It's like when you know something could end, you value it more. Let's say at your job, right? You're comfortable, you just show up every day, the same level of work, go home, whatever. There's no need to do anything more. There's no need to appreciate it more. You kind of get arrogant with it. You get arrogant, you disrespect it in a way. I've done this myself, I'm not gonna lie, especially recently. And if you get a warning, like you get told, right, carry this on, you're gone. You got a week now to prove that you are worth keeping at this company. Something like that. You get like a wake up call, like told, like if you carry this on, you get one last chance, you're gone. I guarantee you would appreciate that job more, just knowing that you could lose it. Just knowing that you could lose it makes you want to work harder, makes you want to try more, makes you want to push yourself, right? Now, there's obviously an extent to this. Like if you found out, oh, you're going to get sacked next week, that last week, it wouldn't matter because you know you're gonna get sacked next week. So you'd make the most of the job, but at the end of it, it's a job. It's not your life. So it's different to, like, let's say you found out you're going to die next week, you would live way more. But if you found out you're going to get fired from a job next week, you wouldn't really care that much because you'd probably be more focused on other things like finding a new job, right? To replace that one when you're going to get fired. But when you find that something's temporary, there's always an urge to do something. Like I said, right? If you you're going to get fired next week, you'd have the urge to protect yourself or to find a new job. Like, do you know what I mean? So there's an urge to do something. You found out your relationship was going to end next week, you'd have the urge to either break up straight away, to talk, it's something, right? You'd have the urge to act, is what I'm saying. Now, most people nowadays forget that their life is temporary, which is why they don't act anymore. They're arrogant. Everything, they forget everything is temporary. They forget the job, they could be sacked in a month. You probably won't be though, because they get to in a comfortable system. But a system is a trap. Every system is a trap in its own way. Anyway, unless it's intentional. It's a trap. So if you remember that your job is temporary, like one day you're going to retire, you're going to leave that job, you're going to find a new job, something's going to happen where it's going to end. Remember, your relationship is temporary because either one of you are going to die or you're going to break up someday, whatever. Something's going to happen to separate you both. If you remember, the house you live in, temporary, unless you're going to die one day, you're not going to live there anymore, or you're going to move out, or something, right? The car you drive, temporary. Everything in your life is temporary. If you remember that every single day, there's clothes you wear, temporary. One day you're gonna get rid of them, or you're just gonna stop wearing them and wear something else. You'll appreciate every single thing more in your life, I guarantee. You will appreciate it so much more. But you have to consciously remind yourself of this all the time, because we naturally get, what's the word? We naturally get complacent with familiarity. Like if you work the same place 5 days a week, same time, 5 days a week, you're facing the same people, same kind of problems, we naturally become comfortable because as humans, we crave comfort. That's what we do. So we make this situation comfortable, and thinking about the temporariness, I don't know if that's a word, thinking about the fact that the thing we become comfortable with is temporary is uncomfortable. But living it uncomfortably makes life meaningful, makes it an actual life. Oh my days, I need a new chair. So remind yourself every single day, consciously be aware that you're becoming complacent with whatever situation you're in, and remind yourself that this is temporary. If you're comfortable in a relationship and you're complacent with it, you think, I'll give you an example, right? You come home and you just kind of sit on your phone, you just don't really interact with your partner because you're tired or whatever. You're just like, oh, it's fine. They're not going to leave me for this one little thing. Kind of complacent, right? Realistically, that is eventually going to kill it. If you're completely complacent all of the time and there's no intentional intentional actions with that relationship, obviously it's going to end someday anyway. But that's a separate video. There's a point for a separate video, actually. Whereas if you come home, you feel tired and you're about to go on your phone and you realize, wait, this relationship is temporary. She could pass away tomorrow. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true, right? And imagine if that was the last moment with her, you just sat scrolling on your phone. You're not going to do that, are you? And this happens sometimes. Like, you're not going to be intentional all of the time and consciously aware of what you're doing all of the time. But it's important that you consciously aware as much as possible. Something I want to regurgitate or repeat, even, I don't know if regurgitate is even a word, on this channel, is that consciousness is departing completely in the world we live in. The world we live in is sapping our consciousness and our awareness of what we are doing and how we are living our lives and how we are interacting with other people. Whereas that is our greatest strength, our consciousness, our ability to make intentional actions and be aware of what we're doing and do things with meaning, right? Consciousness creates meaning. That's what we do. We're conscious, so we create meaning. In a pointless world, because realistically it is, we create the meaning. But that's obviously also a topic for another video, because I don't want to go too deep about that subject in a video that's not about that subject. But yeah, so remind yourself that everything is temporary as often as you can, and you will be so much more grateful. You'll be so much more grateful. Not a breath. I talk so fast in my days. I forget to breathe sometimes. I get passionate about what I love. I love, like, I don't know what it's called, philosophy. Yeah, I did start this channel called Warren Goes in Philosophy. I love it. I love the way I think, and I want to be more open with it. Like, people close to me don't hear people close to me hear these thoughts, but people like close to me, like that I interact with a lot, but like we're not that close. You know what I mean? They don't hear the side of me. I want to be more open with it. It's just I don't know how to just casually talk about this stuff. It's very deep, so I just don't. But that's everything with this video. Like I said, remind yourself that everything is temporary as often as possible, and you will remove complacency from your life. Not completely, like you're gonna get complacent every now and then, but if you're conscious as possible, it will be gone most of the time. And every time you find yourself getting complacent, remind yourself that it's temporary, and you will no longer be complacent. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. I just burped on my days. You know, I'm not even going to cut that out. I don't care. I didn't even mean to do that. It just came out anyway. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.